All right, everybody. I hope everyone is having a great night. I wanted to jump on here real quick and take a look at some trades that we have on US 30 and just see what our last markup did. So, if you guys have been joining us on the last Zoom that we had, we can zoom in here. This was our daily markup, and we said we wanted to get a daily candle above this line. I drew that little gray box here saying this is where we'd close our candle and then push up. If you zoom out, this is a dot to dot to dot break that we had that obviously pushed up, went to our hold number, which is our 34,500, and then rejected, coming back down to retest this trend line. So on the daily setup, it's doing exactly what we've wanted it to do here. When we look at our zone structure, this was the same template. Now you guys are going to notice that I keep the templates up. I mean, ones we mark up months ago because they still become valid over time. So as you can see here, we have a sell here. I have a sell here that I was trying to catch that last little breakdown right there. I didn't close out, but it's okay because I closed out partials of this buy that we had at the bottom. So overall, we're in massive profit on this coming up from the history, from closing out the partials. You can see here when I go to the trade history, let's see, trade history, you're going to see that we had partial closed out here on that buy, got knocked out at break even, had some trades here. And then if we zoom to the left over here, you're going to notice that we just had all these sells right here that we'd finally closed out, and then buys in between that way. So again, turned out to be a nice trade. Actually, I already took partials of this one, so I'm going to go ahead and protect that one while we've got that here. And it's looking good there. So this zone, if we were to take this gray box and drag it over for that wick fill, you can see we finally fell below this wick fill here. And now our next zone is this one down here at the bottom. And we'll go ahead and drag that one over as well. And then we'll look at this 30-minute chart. So this 30-minute chart, and look where we bounced. I mean, it's really hard to make that stuff up, but look where we got that bounce at. Beautiful. So this was that 4 hour that we were looking at. So we had a dot here and a dot here. So we connected a dot to dot. And then if we zoom out, you're going to notice that all we did for this one was connect this. We did this number here. We took this right here, the fib fan. And sorry, I saw a note come across my desk from my wife. My apologies. So we take the fib fan right here. We drag it, and we're connecting from here to the bottom of this swing low. So when we zoom in, you can see where that painted is. Now, up here, we have the 34,621 for our dot. And that's exactly where we went. We said if we break above this, we're going to continue to push up. If we don't, we're going to fall. The zone that we needed to break, if you go back and watch the Zooms, you're going to, live streams, you're going to see this, where I said 34,342 to 34,265. If we can break this zone, we're going to fall to this trend line here, and this will be the trend line when we break. We're going to protect our entry, okay? So we broke this trend line right there. We'd have been able to protect right up here in this zone on the first trend line break. We haven't went back and retested that zone, and now we're going down here to this area. And if you zoom out, you're going to see this is the TP1 zone. So when we break this TP1 zone on the 30-minute candle, if you're watching it, then that's where you want to take another partial of your trade. When you go in on that 30-minute, I mean, that was just a beautiful break of this zone. Now we have this other 4-hour chart markup that we've had for a long time. If you zoom out here, again, same thing. We connected here and then connected here at the bottom, and you can see where it broke. So by taking a dot to dot setup, and you would have been able to set this on there on 525, so almost a month ago, that we had that on that lower dot, you can see exactly where we broke up here on this top. We finally went up, broke the 34,500. We broke trend right there, currently floating at about 385 pips. And then this is our whole number template. When I say whole number, it's like 34,250 to 34,000 flat, 33,750. So I'd love to close a 4-hour candle below this 34,000, and that would lead us right to this 33,750, and then we could play these zones out, and that would just be beautiful. So here is our last one that we're going to look at. And this was, we were looking for a break of this trend line up here. And when you zoom out, we had a dot to dot there. And you can see where we broke it here. There was a little bit of drawdown. You'd have clicked a sell right there. You'd had drawdown about 55 pips, and you're currently in 338 pips of profit. So solid there. So US 30, what's the next move on US 30? So let's look at, let me find the template I want to use. I will use this one here. Let's just look at this 30-minute and see where we're at. Now, obviously, if you're playing the smaller time frames, when I say smaller time frames, just in terms of, get this real quick on here. wanted to get maybe some tighter moves for just a quick little scalp or a buy, you could do a dot to dot like that right there. And then what that's going to allow you to do is just watch this, 30-minute candle, get a 30-minute candle close, and just run this thing for a short little, TP up to 34,250 or into this zone right here. But on the larger scale, we're falling. And if you connected this dot to dot right there, look at that. Like, that's how beautiful that trade was. There's your dot to dot. So if you did catch the break here, you were able to catch another one on that rejection. Look how beautiful that rejected. Bam, bam, bam. Even gave us a swing high on that for the play for 170 plus pips. So that right here would have been setup 1. Now that setup is no longer valid because that trade's already happened. So this is what we have now, is this dot right here. So again, zooming in, we need that 30-minute candle to close below that zone and take us right there to that 33,750 if you're playing this 30-minute instead of the 4-hour. However you want to look at it. We have markups on the 4-hour, we got markups on the 30-minute, and they're all looking great. So let's take a look at gold. So gold, when we look at the daily, we've got a wick fill right there that we're playing in. Drop this down to the hour, and you can see that we're just bouncing around in this area, okay? Which is basically that same consolidation zone we've had. So if we look at, go to the 4-hour, and we'll just zoom out a little bit, and we don't have much to really look at. We've got these areas right here. Get that one up, about like that. And you can see we're setting right in that wick fill area, and there's nothing here on the 4-hour. So look at the 30-minute, look at that consolidation within that 30-minute. Just not doing much of anything. So the way I would play gold, and this is just me, is get a 5 to 15-minute candle above this zone and run your trade to about right there. That's for your buys. For your sells, we've got a massive wick fill down here on the bottom. So basically, we could say, I would really like to see, let's see, we'll do 1930 even. So a 15 to 5-minute candle closure below this zone and run it to the bottom of this box. Close partials, protect your entry, and then let this run. So we've got 2 scenarios here for both a buy and a sell, depending on which one happens first. And that's where we're at. As far as NAS is concerned, I mean, our markup on NAS did really well. We were looking at it on this little bit of markup that we had here for that rejection. And that rejection hit because we're looking at the trend line here, coming back up, and you can see where it rejected right there on 616. And ever since rejection, it's been falling down. Our first TP of this rejection was 14,818, and we are almost right there at it. We are super close. So while we're at it, let's look at GU. GU is still not breaking any of our zones up here, so nothing to be had. Odd U, not worried about. Let's look at GJ. GJ is going to be fun. On that 4-hour, this was that break we wanted right through here. We never got it, so let's restart this template. And let's look at it from a daily perspective. So we do have a wick fill up here that we've already tested and retested again, and now we're sitting here. Let's look at the 30-minute. And now we're playing these zones. And do we have a dot to dot that we can play with? So let's see what structure we have there. That was a break right there. And I mean, that one looks not terribly bad. Let's see. And we got another dot to dot there. Yeah, I mean, I would stick with this right here and say, if we can get a 30-minute candle closure below this area right here, we could run it down to about right there, which would be a solid trade. That puts you at 179.174. And as far as buys are concerned, I mean, when I look at this thing on the daily, I don't want any of the buys. I'd rather catch the sells on it. So that's where we're at. Outside of that, it's pretty clean. US 30 is looking great. Gold's looking good. We've got a week full of hopefully movement in the market, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow kicks off Thursday, so Thursday and Friday I think are going to be really good days for volume for us. And now we just keep our fingers crossed that we can all catch the same move. But as you can see here, the setup is looking great. The move's already taken place right here. on this break. So I mean, now we just need another break below here to run it down in those zones. And again, guys, as you're doing these trades, look at your whole numbers. Let me go back to that whole number. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot here. Look at these whole numbers, meaning, you know, your 34,250, 34,000 flat, 33,750. Put those zones in here because you're going to see that anytime we have a big push or, you know, a rejection, we're always playing somewhere in these zones. And you can scroll back and look at this and see, you know, we dropped, we tested a zone, came back up, reject, 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 and then slammed down. Broke a zone, retested it, didn't break, slammed down to the next one. And what this reminds me a lot of, and for the guys that, well, I mean, not guys, you know, for everyone in general, if you were trading, you know, gold back in 2019 and 2020, this is about how it reacted, was to play in these zones. So just be sure that you've got these zones put on your charts, and you can do multiple charts as I've done on here to make it easier for you all. But that's it. Samantha, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you tuning in. And again, hopefully this video helps someone out. And we will do another update to kind of give you, and I'm going to change it to my screen here just on myself for a second, just to kind of give you guys an update as to what's going on with how I'm going to be streaming on Carbon Capital's YouTube channel. The goal is to do Sunday nights to look over the market from what we had the week prior and going into the new week, and then doing again on Tuesday, and then doing again on Thursday. That way we can catch right there before the middle of the week, and then we can catch before the end of the week. Now, the things that's going to control that is obviously if there's a holiday. If there's a holiday, excuse me, or let's say there's a day where it's just news on top of news on top of news, and we know that really there's no good positions, then obviously we're going to play that into factor. You know, I don't want to jump on here, live stream, and not have anything that we can trade and just sit here and you know, mumble back and forth. I would rather get on here, have you guys good setups, see where we can take the trades, and have fun in the markets. So I hope everyone has an amazing week. Again, like I said, I'll be doing a follow-up video as well as an end of the market update this week. And then we're going to kick off on Sunday nights, Tuesdays and Thursdays, going over the charts and see what we can catch. So y'all have a great night.